I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the ISSM. See the logos below. Okay. I'm trying to wrap up the week and give you some things to think about in case I need to take my wife to the airport on Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll just stick this stuff in, and you can do with it what you will. And one of them is one I've been promising to get to, and I haven't. Okay. So Alexandra says you might want to decrease your email frequency. Subscribers are becoming more sophisticated. I don't believe that. And the word sophisticated is interesting because back in the 100 years ago, to sophisticate meant to adulterate with overcomplication. If you look at the 1900 Webster's Dictionary, where now it becomes a positive je ne sais quoi. How about that? Anyway, so, if we get too much email, we don't read it. How about that? If we get too many TV commercials, we go get a beer. And here's a great a great graph. As frequency increases, complaints increase. That could tell you something right there. Maybe you should slow down. But if that didn't get through to you, here's another one. As frequency increases, readership decreases. The U.S. Postal Service now sends me an email I've had it since about a year now because I did a keynote address, and that was all they wanted to talk about. I did a keynote address on why mail, and so for a while I tried to read it, but then I thought, why read about my mail when I can go read my mail? And that's what a lot of emails about. If you had a really good offer, if you really have something to say, then you can say the same thing about a daily news show. Do you really need to make it daily? I don't know. I read somewhere I should, and I wanted to see if I could. And I'm reading a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm getting smarter, but probably I'm just getting more information coming through me. Okay, so anyway, that's enough of that one. Now let's look at negativity. Improve your ROI. Awful article. Let's see, see if there's a common thread here. Target marketing. Maybe there is. Anyway, just really, negativity in marketing sometimes gets a bad rap. Is that a double negative? In the first sentence, yes. Okay, but marketing tactics that eliminate unwanted customers, really mostly prospects, I think she's talking about, can improve your ROI. Right, obviously. If you put an ad on the Super Bowl for something like fire prevention plumbing that most people don't want to buy, you probably have missed the point of targeting. And since this is from Target Marketing Magazine, maybe that's what they're saying. And she starts off with an interesting and understandable point. Billboards for JCPenney's might make sense, but they're 100 miles from the nearest store. There's got to be better examples than that. I'll give you one. I worked with a retailer for a few years, 3 or 4 years, and they were convinced that by going on the web, they could reach the rest of the world where they didn't have retail stores. But when we tracked their web buying patterns, it was right around the stores. 80% of the sales came within 5 or 10 miles of the store. It wasn't far at all. So, if you think you're reaching the world because you're on the internet, you're probably not. And I think that's all I'm going to say about this article because I couldn't really figure out what it was about, and I thought it wasn't very well done. So we'll move over to this one, which is excellent. eMarketer.com. Web brooming. I've never heard that word before. Now you know a new word. Web brooming, or researching a product online before buying in a physical store. That's really interesting because when you go to a physical store, you'll see people with their phones. They'll have their phones and they'll be taking pictures and they'll be doing stuff, and they'll be searching Amazon, and that was supposed to be the death of retail. It hasn't seemed to die yet, but it turns out it's flipping around now. It's flipping around where customers want to go see the product after they've done research on it. What an idea. Like Ultra Beauty, their e-commerce growth rate went down. Remember I did a talk on how e-commerce as a percent of sales has actually declined in the last year? It was supposed to go up, 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 up infinitely, but guess what? It hasn't. It's gone down. It's been flat for, they started in 2009. Who knew e-commerce? The internet was only, it started in 95. It wasn't even, it was, 12 years old or something. So, yeah, you grow when you're 12, but when you're 20, you sort of stop, except sideways, which is where the web is going, okay? So, guess what? Ultra commerce growth has slowed. Their customers desire to visit stores to see and test makeup. What an idea. Could you imagine that people would want to try it out first? I worked with a furniture retailer. Guess what? People wanted to try it out. No, we'll just see pictures and believe everything we see. No, touch has 10 times the receptors that your brain has. Okay, so they are building 80 new stores in 2019. Who says retail is dead? Home Depot saw an increase in store traffic last year. These online shoppers see the relevance of our stores. Duh. Especially if you got a pipe that's burst in your house and you need something to plug it up. You don't want to order it, even if Amazon can get there by tomorrow. I'd rather have it today. It's nice to know if the store has it. The trend that I really hate is where you go online to a store like Walmart and they show you all the products that Amazon has, but you can't get them at the store. You got to go to Walmart.com and you got to sort that out. I just want to know what's at that store right now so I can go get it. Menards does that, and I like it. I like the way Menards handles it. Millennials are the most likely to web broom. WeBroom. As millennials age, WeBrooming continues to gain prominence. Retailers are likely to focus on further streamlining the omni-channel journey, if that is even a real destination. Okay, and finally, I'm going to get to the AI bots. At South by Southwest, I love that, SXSW. I didn't know what that was for a while, but now a bunch of my friends went there and spoke and stuff. And so I thought, wow, now I know. South by Southwest. It's pretty cool. Anyway, the idea was to explore the idea of using an AI robot to enhance a debate and test the emotions of the speakers and test if they were, and fact check them real time. I think that's kind of funny. I don't think you should be telling the participants of the debate how that's going. That would be really high stress for me. But anyway, one of the problems, and I read another article, but I'm not going to cite it, except to say it was about how fantastic AI is because they could teach it to play Go. And like teaching it to play chess, you have to understand there's very clear constraints, which make it easy. The rest of the world is not so clearly defined. You can't get a good labeled data set. Now you can with direct mail because we mail to the house and we ship to the house. Okay? But anyway, that was their big problem. They said we could start with all these off-the-shelf products from Amazon, Microsoft, and IBM, text-to-speech. And if you've ever tried text-to-speech on your mobile phone, you know it's limited. They thought AI was going to be human-like, but it doesn't exist in AI. The majority of the time was spent on getting access to data and organizing it so the machine can learn to do something with it. That's the problem. You need the labeled data set. And at the end, to be truly intelligent, machine learning needs to know everything. You can't know everything. You can't learn your way to omniscience. So it was pointed out, any dubious or incorrect facts were pointed out, and it had an embarrassing an educational effect on the debaters. And so they learned that it was harder than they thought. Boil it down. And that's enough for today. Have a great weekend. Like and share. I'm John Miglash. Have a great